Welcome back everyone to Niemeyer's Math Hour. Let's dive into triangular prism, which is a lot harder to find in my apartment, it seems. It looks like all I really have is this purple binder right here to use as an example. Other things you might use are like a wedge of cheese or like a doorstop or something to that effect. Anyways, this one I think is a little more complex than the rectangular prism. With the rectangular prism, we find area for like a bunch of different rectangles, but as you will see in this video, we are going to be finding the area of two different shapes, two different figures to calculate the area on all the surfaces. Okay, diving into this, let's go ahead and identify how many surfaces we have for a triangular prism. Here is my binder. We have the top, that's kind of slanted, right? Then we have the spine, which is a very thin, looks like a rectangle. We have the bottom, which is another rectangle, much bigger, right? Then we have two more surfaces. We have this kind of little triangle right here, this tiny little triangle. I know it's not a solid surface, right? But we're going to pretend it is for this example, okay? Then the last side is going to be, oh look, it's another triangle. So with the rectangular prism, we had 6 areas, 6 sides we had to count for. In this one, we actually have 5. Let's go ahead and start with, let's do the base of this figure, which is a triangle. How do I know that's the base figure? Well, because if I go to the other side of the figure, it's the exact same shape. Therefore, the triangle must be the base of this three-dimensional figure. How do you calculate the area of a triangle? Take a look at this diagram for the definitions or the dimensions I've named here. Width, length, height, and I'm actually going to put, let's put S on that side for like, I don't know, slanted or side. We're actually going to need that for this calculation. Okay, so for area of a triangle should be width times length times 1/2 or divided by 2. Why? Because we are not calculating a rectangle, right? A rectangle is width times length, but a triangle is 1/2 times width times length. So we have 1/2 times width times length for this triangle right here. That's this surface, right? This tiny little triangle. Now, just like with the rectangular prism, whatever the area of the triangle is on this side, it's going to be the same as on this side, right? It's the exact same triangle, okay? So if we know how to calculate the area for the one on the front, it's going to be the exact same on the back. So what do we need to multiply this by? Not 1, not 3, but 2. There we go. Now we've accounted for 2 sides. Now we gotta go a little more carefully with this next one. Let's do the top side next. What does the top side look like? What shape? Rectangle. Okay? So, if you look at what I've labeled here for the rectangle, it's going to be this side or this edge times kind of the slanted side, right? That's the diagonal part of this triangular prism. I've labeled this as like the slanted side, or maybe you want to call it the diagonal. Doesn't really matter. But to calculate the area for a rectangle, that is going to be, yeah, S times H. Good job. All right, so now we have covered the 2 triangle sides, the top side. Let's do the spine next. So that is this one right here. Notice it is a very thin rectangle. What are the dimensions of that rectangle? Well, let's compare it to what I have written up here. We know that this is like the really small side of that rectangle, which is labeled as the width here, right? That's the width for the rectangle part. What's this side right here? That one's a little bit trickier. Well, if you take a look at my drawing, you'll notice this side has to be the same as this side, right? Because this was a rectangle on the top, remember? So this side has to be the same as this side, which is the top of the spine. So to find the area of this rectangle here, we are going to do the width times, in this case, it is the height. That side right there, width times height. So now we have 4 of the sides done. We only have 1 left. So we're going to add in that last one. What's the last side we haven't done? It's going to be the bottom, right? Bottom looks like it's a rectangle again. What are the dimensions of that rectangle? Notice it is going to be, this time it's going to be length times the height, right? That's what forms the bottom. Length, height, length, height. It's the area of the rectangle, okay? Length times height. There you go. There's the formula, okay? I go through an example in this video along with all the other shapes for surface area. Be sure to check that out if you want to use actual numbers for an example. Alright, till next time, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya!